From Giuseppe's studio, it's the Lombardi and JP Talk Sports Podcast. I'm your boy, Scotty P. They, them boys, Lombardi and JP. And it's their show, so we want to talk about what they want to talk about. Today, they want to talk about how the Yankees, although still in first in the AL East, can't seem to beat the Red Sox. So, do they need to fire Aaron Boone? Judge sets two historical franchise records, one good, one not so good. First, he hit the most homers before June of any Yankee in history, more than Babe, Gehrig, Mantle. But then he had 9 Ks in the Father's Day weekend series with the Red Sox, the most strikeouts in a Red Sox series by any Yankee ever. Has Shotty started a new culture in Dallas? Can the Cowboys win a Super Bowl with Dak? And do they need to sign Micah now? Stick around and find out next on the Lombardi and JP Talk Sports Podcast. Here we go. All right, gentlemen, welcome. Good to see you guys back in the studio. How we doing?
Scotty P, how are you?
Hanging in there. Happy, almost official summer. Start to the summer. The weather's warm. You guys getting outside enjoying the weather?
Yeah, we just came back from Florida, right? That was a lot of fun. Enjoying the sun down south there.
And the weather was a little bit nicer there than it is here.
A little bit better.
If you like the heat.
In the beach. Come on.
Okay. Yes, the geography was a little bit better.
I think I saw you floating around in the pool a little bit. You seem to be
I wasn't complaining,
very
relaxed.
Very relaxed.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, we have a lot to talk about today, so let's dive right in. JP, the Yankees, although in first place, struggling. What about the Yankee struggles? What's going on?
It's been a horror show for Yankee fans the past 10 games or so. We are just struggling. We're beating the bad teams, but we're losing. We're losing to the good teams. We lost to the Dodgers this year, the series. We lost to the Mets, and now we're losing to the Red Sox.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, are you putting the Red Sox under the category of good teams?
They're rivals. They're rivals, man.
Terrible. JP, what a great way to start the show. Thank you so much.
Well, you teed him up. You teed him up there. Nice job, JP.
I walked into that.
You're
one.
killing me.
That's my bad. But I mean, it's been a struggle. I mean, offensively, we cannot buy a run. And a lot to do with the Yankees just again, offense is just flat. If Aaron Judge isn't performing, the whole team just can't seem to find and buy a hit. And I mean, it's just so awful to see them right now. And I think the big reason why, and it's like the beginning of the season, we lost Garrett Cole right in March to Tommy John surgery. And I'm not trying to throw that as a big, the biggest reason, but losing your ace for the year, it definitely kills your rotation. And Luis Gil, obviously a rookie of the year last year, like a great player. He's out until what, June or August. So we lost 2 key guys to our starting rotation. And thank God we have Max Fried. Thank God we have Carlos Rodon and other guys, Will Warren, Clark Schmidt that stepped up, but losing Gill and Cole, it's just rough. And then now when the offense can't hit, you know what I mean, and we're giving up runs, it's hard to win games. And we're losing like 2-0, 3-1, 4-3, like close games we just can't close out.
You sound awful right now. You sound terrible. You sound like you are one of those fans that are so worried about, oh my God, we went into this slump and we're not going to get out of it. I am so disheartened by what you just said. Do you think it's 162 games? 162 games. Did you think Judge was going to hit 450 the whole season? Yeah, of course you did. Did you think the Yankees were going to win every single series? Of course you did. Do I want them to win every single series? Of course I do. Come on, man. Listen, if you want to add a little life to this, am I disappointed that when we played the Red Sox at Yankee Stadium, we came out on the short end of the stick. We lost 2 out of 3. You can't do that. I get it. When you go to Fenway Park and you get swept, am I frustrated? Absolutely. But every team is going to go through these highs and lows. It's not just the New York Yankees. What do you think? We're going to just blow everybody out? Like, I'm disappointed too. But man, you're pulling the fire alarm like it's the season's over.
Yeah, but the Red Sox are like obviously not playing well this year. They started off kind of hot, then they kind of fizzled out, and we gave them a spark now. They won the last 5 games.
They gave them a spark. Did you see what they came out with pitching? Crochet and Dobbins pitched a hell of a game. We ran
Who the
into
hell's Dobbins? Do you know who Dobbins is? Give me his first name.
Listen,
nobody knows the Dobbins kid.
The kid is a
Crochet's good.
The kid is a rookie, and he was amazing. He was amazing. You got to give credit when credit's due.
Sure.
I don't like the Red Sox. All right, I don't like the Red Sox, but we ran into some tough pitching. Hey, what do I tell you all the time? Hey, what do I tell you all the time? Good pitching and good defense beats good batting, but good offense. And I am going to tell you this too. The Yankees beat themselves. We're not going to even go into the base running blunders, not knowing how many outs, the Ben Rice blunder, the Jason Dominguez blunder, not knowing how many outs. Man, we didn't help ourselves this series as well. Our pitching pitched really well. Most times they're going to win those games. We just got outpitched, and it's okay. It's okay. We're going to be all right.
We lost to Dobbins and Bello. I'll give you Crochet as an ace, but Bello and Dobbins, nobody knows their first names.
So did they not pitch well?
The hunted has become... No, I'm saying that wrong. The hunter has become the hunted, right? Either way, I'm trying to be smart and wise about Hunter Dobbins. It didn't work, sorry. But the spark was not the New York Yankees. The spark of the Red Sox was not the New York Yankees. The spark is the youth movement that is coming to Fenway.
I mean,
right, you should be excited about that. Rightfully so. I think there's a lot of young talent coming up with the Red Sox. Unfortunately, I think they're mismanaging their team, and I'll get into that in a little bit.
Yes, we will.
With all that youth that is coming up, it's wonderful for Red Sox fans. But
is it though?
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. Good for them.
You're gonna spend all that money to do a pro game to see you go see him in Worcester. These guys are not ready. Look at Roman Anthony. He's batting like 45.
Yeah, he only had to hit a 497-foot grand slam to get called up to the show. Gee, thanks. He's only been waiting to get called up all season. He should have been called up 2 months ago.
Look at his stats right now.
He's got 13 at bats. 13 at bats.
Give the kid a little bit of time. Look, can he get adjusted to the new batter's box at Fenway?
I don't care. Whatever.
Very angry again. This show. Very, very angry.
Who's the kid playing third? 39 there. Is it Mayer?
Mayer.
Yeah,
right?
Mayer.
Meyer.
Bregman's substitute.
Yeah. I mean, he's batting like 220. I mean, like, I don't know. I think sometimes, like, you're bringing all three at the same time. Obviously, there's not enough spots for them, and we'll get into why there are spots now. But the Red Sox are definitely not a playoff contender. They're going to be.
Not. They're a game or two out of the wild card spot.
They're not going to be. I'll put a bet on this right now. They're not making the playoffs. Double or nothing.
Oh God.
Let's see what happens on this West Coast trip.
Oh wow.
Yeah. They're not going to be a playoff team.
No, huh?
They're not going to be a playoff team. No, there's no way.
All right. Well, before the last game against the Yankees, when they had Devers, I would say you are absolutely wrong. But now without Devers, I'm not so sure you're right.
All right. Well, speaking of the Red Sox, big news coming out just recently. Rafael Devers traded right after that game when they beat the Father's Day game, Game 3 of the series. Devers hits a home run. It wasn't a game-winning home run. He was the second run in that 2-0 game. But after that game, the Sox send Devers to San Francisco to the Giants. What are your thoughts on when you heard that news?
Disgusting.
Why?
Awful front office, awful management of the Boston Red Sox. Fans all day long, listen to sports talk radio, fans all day long, can't stand that move. Listen, the problem with the Boston Red Sox, and I want to go off right now, the problem with the Boston Red Sox is that their portfolio is too big. Ownership wants a racing team. They want a hockey team. They want the Revs. They want... what's the other?
They want a guy to play first base. Is that what you're trying to say?
Hold on.
Okay.
They're buying Penguins,
they
right?
want all of these items or all of these professional organizations in their portfolio. What do? They have this guy Devers. They were supposed to build their team around Devers, and they were supposed to bring these young kids up, this talent. And they were supposed to mold together. You can't have all young or all old. They were supposed to mold this together. They got a spark. They were looking good. 1 or 2 games, like I had just said, 1 or 2 games out of the wild card spot. They're playing good baseball. They got the spark. And what do? You take your best player and trade him to the San Francisco Giants for a guy, Jordan Hicks. Jordan Hicks, who is 1-5 with a 6.47 ERA. That's who you got for Devers?
It wasn't a 1-for-1 trade, Lombardi.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Kyle, what's his name? Kyle Harrison, who was optioned to Worcester as soon as he was announced that he was traded to the Red Sox, and maybe they got a draft pick or two. That's what they got for a team that's fighting for a wild card spot?
It seems fair. I like this trade. This Hicks guy sounds pretty good. I mean, the Red Sox did a great job.
I knew you liked that.
I love it. It's a great trade for the Sox.
No, but that's why Red Sox fans, you talk about Red Sox fans, and they're so frustrated with the team. It started back in the day with when Mookie Betts was traded for the team. They didn't want to open their wallet. They didn't want to hold Mookie Betts. They should have built that team around Mookie Betts. They should build that team around Devers, and they should have brought these young kids around that team and have them a part of the nucleus to build the Boston Red Sox.
All right, time out. We
Yes,
are
sir.
not going to compare the Mookie Betts situation to the Rafi Devers. You know
Why
why?
not? Why not?
Why not?
Because Mookie Betts is not only a better player, but he's also a better teammate and a better locker room guy to have on that team.
Okay.
Up. I get the 30-second timeout now, and I'm going to fire right back at you. You ready for this one? What did the Red Sox do but treat Devers like awful? He's the third baseman. You signed him for millions and millions of dollars. He's supposed to be a starting third baseman. They go out and sign Bregman. Now they tell Mookie Betts, hey, buddy, even though you were supposed to be here for 10 years, you're not going to play third base anymore. What you're going to do is you're going to DH. He had a problem with that. So would I. You're the franchise person of the organization. Now you tell him he's not going to play third base. Okay, he gets adjusted. He's the DH now. Okay, he's playing DH. Guess what? Red Sox cry because they need a first baseman. Hey, Devers, I want you to play first base. No, I'm not playing first. I never played first base. This is Major League Baseball. This isn't Little League Baseball. They're going to throw him out on first base. Of course he was pissed off. Of course he was upset. And what did you be? Come on.
You taking Devers' side on this?
Yes, I am.
That's
Absolutely.
That's gross.
Yeah, they asked of their franchise player. They asked him what they needed from their franchise player. They asked him for that.
To step up.
And he refused to do it. That's not the franchise player I want on my team.
I play third. That's all I heard. I play third. No, you don't. But Bregman plays third. You're going to play whatever we tell you to play. Now, he might have been the face of the Red Sox, but there's nobody in the Red Sox that's good.
Let me ask you this. How do you take Devers, who is,
All right.
It's like taking a guy and this isn't a universal infielder where you can put him at second base, at third base, at first base. Devers is not built to play anywhere in the infield. Are we all going to agree with that? He is not that guy. He's not that athlete. Like he's not that athlete.
He sucks in defense. But first base, he can probably handle. All right, this.
How is Bregman doing at third, by the way?
He's hurt.
How was he doing before he got hurt?
Great. He was doing great.
Oh, so that was actually maybe the right move for the team?
100%.
Then why'd you sign Devers for $300 million?
Because he's bad.
Because he's a great player.
He's
So
a good bat.
you're gonna pay a guy $300 million. Let me find this out.
Hey,
you're gonna pay
why are you looking this up?
Why sign Devers if you're gonna go out and get Bregman?
Because maybe at that time you didn't realize, because he hasn't been faced with a difficult situation or choices to make that's better, the choice that's best for the team, not what's best for Rafi. And then all of a sudden now he gets the opportunity to show his true colors. And these are the only things that we know about, the ones that we know about. Who knows about what's happening in the locker room?
One guy I can tell you why they signed Bregman is Alex Cora, because they have a relationship. With
They cheated together, didn't they?
Whatever. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they cheated together.
All right, listen. The Red Sox have made some really questionable moves in the last 5 to 6 seasons. Mookie Betts is definitely one of them. Xander Bogaerts, letting him go to San Diego. And then how about Chris Sale? Chris Sale was your ace. You guys let him go. He goes to the Atlanta Braves and wins a Cy Young the next year. You guys need him right now, and you guys let him go for nothing. And now you trade Devers for a bunch of bag of chips and nobody knows who these guys are. I mean...
And whoever would pick up his contract, basically.
$313.5 million 2 years ago. The Red Sox signed Devers to a 10-year deal, $313 million. That's not just like a mistake. Oh, he's not really the fit. He's not really the guy. What are we doing here? $313 million, and you're not sure he's the guy? Pretty pathetic.
Yeah.
Well, new kids coming up. You want to get that clubhouse in the right frame of mind and a right culture, and maybe he wasn't the right guy for that. That's where I stand on it. All right, so after that series, the Red Sox sweeping the Yankees. Let me say that again. The Red Sox swept the Yankees at Fenway. There was rumblings about one Aaron Boone. And should he be fired? What do you guys think? Is this appropriate talk? Is it appropriate to be asking this question right now? And what are your take? What's your take?
I feel like Aaron Boone, in my opinion, needs to be fired. I'm so sick of this. Like we signed him to an extension last year because he made the World Series, but their offense last year was so good with Soto and Judge together that I feel like any manager can manage that team. But he manages by analytics, not about gut. And I used to love the great like Joe Torre, talking to a pitcher going, can you finish the game? Can you not finish the game? He's not going off of numbers. He's going off of his players talking to him and gut feeling. And I feel like we're missing that in today's baseball. But watching the Yankees make the same bonehead moves like they did in the World Series with these base running errors, the bad defense, just all those things wrapped in, now we can't hit on top of all these things, which again just puts us in that losing streak, puts us in the lull that we're in currently. It is Boone's fault. We haven't corrected what caused us to lose the World Series. We don't make a couple of errant throws in the World Series in Game 1. We win Game 1, and we could take that series. But we lost that Game 1. That was a huge, crucial mistake. And then in the last game of the World Series, we had a base running issue, cost us runs. It happens over and over again. When is that not the manager's fault?
Okay. All right.
When is it not the manager's fault?
All right. Here we go. So Aaron Boone gets fired. Who do you hire?
Alex Cora. Anybody. I don't care.
Alex Cora?
I'll take anybody right now.
I think he's on the verge of getting fired. Are you kidding me right now?
Sure, we'll take him.
All right, so
he won a World Series.
So
Boone hasn't.
it's easy to be frustrated. It's easy to be frustrated and say Aaron Boone needs to get fired. I don't necessarily love Aaron Boone, but I will tell you right now, firing Aaron Boone right now is definitely not the right decision. There's continuity. Listen, we're going through a rough patch, and most fans like you are upset, angry, mad, and want change immediately. It's a baseball season. There's ups and downs. Now, do I agree with you to say that these shortcomings that are happening, errors, attention to detail, and boneheaded moves on the base paths, is that a coaching issue? It is a coaching issue, but it's not just Aaron Boone. It's the bench coach. It's the fielding coach. It's other people that surround Aaron Boone. Eventually or essentially, that falls on the manager's shoulders. But to say that we need to fire Aaron Boone, would you have felt that way 10 games ago?
Yes.
No, you wouldn't. You're full of it. You're full of it.
I'm saying is this.
Would you be honest now?
I agree with you.
10 games ago, would you have said this?
No.
Be honest. Okay.
But
Thank you. Next.
No.
Let's roll this.
No.
What?
What I'm saying, let me rebuttal you.
Yeah,
I'm saying that the right time to fire Aaron Boone is probably not right now. I agree with you. You have to ride with him through the season. The right time to fire for Aaron Boone was after the World Series when they lost, embarrassing the way they lost, and you could never push them through to get a World Series champion. That's when you fire Aaron Boone.
Okay,
and they didn't do it.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about.
You're saying you should fire him. I'm telling you when
Listen,
they should have fired him.
That's not what we're talking about. If you'd asked me if we should fire him after the World Series, I would have given you a different answer. You want to fire him because we're on a 10-game losing streak.
It's not a 10-game losing streak, but
now it's 11 tonight, apparently.
Well, I was just going to say,
all right,
as we're recording, the Angels have won in extra innings, 1-0.
All right, so we're on this 11-game losing streak.
It's not 11 games, though. We haven't lost 11 in a row.
No, I understand. We're in this slump over 11-game period.
Yeah.
All right.
And would you do it in season, JP, or you don't even want to wait till the end of the season? You want to do it now?
The right time is not to do it right now. I think they should have fired him before the season started. But if you're asking me to fire Aaron Boone, I say fire him. I'm done with him. He's not a great manager. He's shown over the course of his career as managing, he's not a manager.
So even if he makes it, regardless, so what does he have to do in order not to fire him? Win the World Series?
Win the World Series.
No, he's just going to have a better 10 games, and then we'll talk next week.
No.
And it'll be okay.
We'll
be okay.
No.
And if he does what he did, the exact same thing that he did last year, he makes it to the World Series, but they lose. You're saying get rid of him.
Get rid of him.
Okay.
He's not going to win the World Series.
Well, who is?
Somebody else. I'll take Bob.
You're killing me with these answers.
I'll take the Texas Rangers manager, Bucci or Bouchy, whatever his name is. I'll take Alex Cora. I'll take anybody. AJ Hinch. I'll take Lou Piniella. I don't even care.
Oh my!
Give me anybody.
God, Lou Piniella.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll take Joe Torre. Get him out of retirement. Let's go. Come on back.
All right, that's enough of Yankee talk for today.
Thank
Let's
you,
move
Scott.
on to the Cowboys. We haven't started the season yet, but we are in OTAs, and JP Parsons is going into his last year of his contract. Should the Cowboys sign him now, or should they wait?
All right. Should they sign him now? Yes. Will they sign him now? No. We have Jerry Jones. The reason why they won't sign him now, they're going to wait and see what happens with TJ Watt to see what kind of money he gets, which is the worst move.
Yeah.
You think Jerry Jones is good at business, but in those kind of moves right there, when they waited for CD, waited for Dak to sign, they had to sign some of these guys a boatload of money. It's going to be the same thing with Micah Parsons, and we're going to be locked into him for years. Micah.
Micah.
Thank you.
Correct. It's Micah.
Every time, JP. Every time I'm going to have to interrupt you.
Yes.
It's Micah to me. Until he gets signed, I won't say Micah. Again, he's in his 5th year of his rookie contract. He's earning $24 million for the season. And he has been present at OTAs, but he hasn't been performing at OTAs because he's waiting for his deal. So I appreciate him being there and being with his teammates, but he hasn't been playing. He's seeking the extension with the Cowboys for the highest paid non-quarterback position player. So he's looking for around $200 million. I think TJ Watt will get that money in Pittsburgh. I don't think Pittsburgh moves on from TJ Watt. I think he stays with the Steelers. And I think this is going to be a huge driving factor what Parsons does in Dallas. If Parsons leaves, you know what I mean? The time to trade him, I think, was before the season too, before the draft.
Trade everybody. Just trade everybody.
No, I mean, get a king's ransom for the guy like we did with Herschel Walker. That was the time to do it, to get draft picks and trying to rebuild this team. But now that we've passed that point, the only option is to sell him, because if you don't keep him on your defensive roster, we are not a good defense. He is such a huge impact, having double coverage on the tackle side with tight end tackles that cover him going around the corner. He's such a valuable option. And look at the rest of the NFC East, right? The Giants now got Carter on their side on defense, right? The Eagles have had a great defense, and they lost Sweat, but they have also guys on that defense that scare you, like Fletcher Cox and all those other guys. I think he's still playing for them, right? No, he's retired. Damn. So we have over the guys, Carter, Jalen Carter, and all those guys. But all I'm saying, I'm not an Eagles fan. They can all. I don't care about their names.
I didn't know that.
I hate that team so much. Thanks for the assist. But all I'm saying is that, again, like there's other teams now that have good defensive players. Parsons is one of the top 5 on all NFL players. He's a difference maker. But again, we have to sign him now. I don't want to wait until after TJ Watt.
I've heard enough of this. Go
ahead.
I don't know. You're off your game tonight. You see
this every show. Thank you.
Well,
thanks
maybe we have to reevaluate what the hell's going on the show here.
Oh my God.
So what I'm going to tell you is this. Micah Parsons, first of all, he is right about Jerry Jones. You know when Micah Parsons is going to get signed? Micah is going to get signed?
Micah will get signed when?
Sunday, September, whatever Sunday before the first game is. That's when Micah Parsons will get signed, and it'll be this Sports Center ticker on the bottom, breaking news when somebody's trying to open up their season. That's when Micah Parsons is going to get signed. Does that sound familiar?
When did CD get signed? Sorry, I was reminiscing. Sorry.
So that's the
when
first
did Dak
thing.
get signed?
Exactly. So this is what I thought, or my thoughts. So the first thing is this. He is going to get signed. I do believe he's going to get signed. I do disagree a little bit. I do think that him going to training camp and he's really, it's killing him not to participate, because there are times where he's actually participating. He's saying he doesn't want to participate. He's not in pads. He's not fully participating, but he's out there running around. He wants to play. Now, there was never a lack of effort on Micah Parsons, or never a lack of statement from Micah Parsons. The problem that I have with Micah Parsons that concerns me is this. He hasn't proven himself in the playoffs, and that's one thing that I have a struggle on giving somebody $200 million is he doesn't show up when it counts. He's not there, unfortunately. He hasn't proven himself to be the guy or the go-to guy. Now, what I will give him is this. I will say this, and I'm embarrassed when I say this because I forget the kid's last name. We just drafted a kid from Boston College, I believe, Donovan.
With the
Not
that
guy. That guy.
Not Jefferson, right?
Yeah. And that guy. And what I'm going to say about Donovan, I'll just leave it as Donovan, is that I do think with help on the other side, on an edge, rushing the passer, I do think Mike is going to be even better because, unfortunately, there was a lot of double teams going on, as we all know, on Micah. And bringing this kid Donovan in from BC and helping him out on the other side of the field, I think Micah has the potential to show up in the late games. Do I think he's worth $200 million? I don't know. That's a lot of money for one player.
But this kid might get him. Donovan might get Parsons more money.
And that's what I'm trying to tell you right now.
Okay.
I think, believe it or not, this kid Donovan that has not even put a football helmet on with the star on the side of his helmet is actually going to be able to help Micah Parsons sign this contract.
And plus, we get Sammy Williams back this year. He was out all last year with a torn ACL, so he's finally back this year healthy, so it'd be good.
All right, Lombardi, Shottenheimer, is he establishing a new culture there in Dallas? What's going on?
Scotty, great question. And I'm going to tell you this. I was, and it's probably recorded somewhere on our show, I was not a big fan of the Shotty signing, nor was a lot of Cowboy fans. And I've been reading and watching faithfully because I love my Dallas Cowboys. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm buying into his system. I am buying into his system. He is full of energy. He is creating a culture there, in my opinion, that these players enjoy being around on him. He's active. He's running around the field. He's taking part in practice. He's not standing on the sidelines blowing the whistle like the old school coach of Mike McCarthy. He can relate to these guys. Do I think that's going to make them win the Super Bowl? No, I'm not saying that. But do I like what Shotty thus far is bringing to the Dallas Cowboy football team? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's more enthusiasm. There's more energy. And this guy really is getting buy-in from his players.
I still don't like the hire. I'm still not a Shotty guy. It's going to take a lot for me to be a Shotty guy. I feel like all the players are drinking the Jerry Jones Kool-Aid, and they're just following what Jerry Jones wants because at the end of the day, he's the owner. I feel like Shotty, I saw the whole engaging with the players and building on relationships and doing all these competitive things outside of football like golf and basketball and all those things and try to get people closer, do some charity things, which is great. All those things are good things. But this guy's done nothing as a head coach. He's never had an opportunity. I know they said he had an opportunity, but nobody ever hired him as a head coach. This is his first year. As a Cowboys fan, yes, I hope he comes in and completely changes the culture because that's what killed bringing players from the outside to Dallas to play in the Dallas Cowboys. It's more like a zoo where all these players at the Star and you can walk by and eat lunch with a Cowboy. That's not great culture for a guy who's leaving another, like the Patriots with Belichick's it's his way or the highway, or Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh, or whatever you want to say. All those guys have culture there that there's no nonsense. And you go to the Cowboys, you go to Dallas, and you can go, eat a slice of pizza with Dak Prescott at the cafeteria table. That's not good culture. And watching them work out, that should be all private. So I agree with some of the players that left and made fun of the Cowboys' way of doing things. And again, maybe Shotty can change some of that, but he's going to go along with Jerry Jones wants. He's Jerry's guy.
Well, what does he have to lose? I guess what I'm saying is that the atmosphere was this. Nobody liked the hire. He never got a coach. He was in football this long. Like, what does this guy really have to lose? Nobody really believed into him. If nobody believed in him initially, so what does he have to lose? Those are the guys that are dangerous. This is the guy that's going to go out there and say, for lack of better terms, I don't give a shit what's going to happen. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do whatever I can do because nobody believed in me in the first place. I don't have a reputation.
And he's saying some shocking stuff too, which is
he's what?
Saying some shocking
things. So
yeah.
JP, I was going to ask you. You talked about the player relationships and the competition that he's brought in as part of that culture. He also mentioned that Dak is still developing. Was one of the comments that he made. Well, what do you think about that?
I mean, listen, all players are always developing parts of their games that are their weaknesses, just like anybody else in the real world. Everybody has strengths, everybody has weaknesses, and nobody's ever perfect in their job setting. So I'm like, easy. All I'm saying is that for me is Dak Prescott is yes, he's still developing some things. He's never won the big game. He's struggled in the playoffs. Clock management's always been a Dak Prescott issue with late in games. So if Shotty can tap into that with Dak and help him develop the things that his shortcomings are, then I do believe that he is developing him to be a better quarterback, and that's what he's supposed to be doing. He's the head coach of a football team. You don't agree? You think that? Wait, what do you think? You think?
Come on, Lombardi. Come on. Spit it out.
All right. Here it is. Come
on, strap in.
That
folks.
was the dumbest thing Shotty could say. Like, now this is the inexperienced coach that was just trying to support his quarterback and understand that Dak has done nothing. And this is a way to build his confidence and build the team's confidence. Look, hey, we're all developing in here. Hoorah, let's make this happen together. There are things that he's going to get better at, and we're going to work together on it. I understand why he said it, but it was a dumb thing to say. Dak is 10 years into this league, and he still has not won a big game.
So you think it was more of taking some of the pressure off of Dak and the
Scotty,
limelight?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And you know what? I don't fault him for it, but I don't know what you just said, but that is just
no, I think
out of control.
I think he's
10 years, 11 years.
I think he has a point to it. I mean, it's like Dak. Listen, Dak has some struggles, and if he can help Dak with his struggles, it's like you look at like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, the top quarterbacks in the league, Joe Burrow. Like, right? Everybody wants those guys on their team. Why? Because they have a lot less weaknesses than a guy like Dak Prescott or Tua from the Dolphins. Like, those guys don't play well in big games.
No, I understand that, but what you're missing is this. After 10 years, Dak Prescott's skill level can only get so good. Dak is an average quarterback. I've told you that. So the guys that are elite and above average can develop and get better. Dak has been Dak. Why? You mean to tell me nobody? You mean to tell me nobody else found a way to develop Dak Prescott's skill level? The only way Dak Prescott is good this year is you surround him with better players,
right.
And that's what they did with George Pickens. Because guess what? He is an average quarterback, and now he has a legit number two weapon to take the pressure off of CeeDee Lamb, and that's the deal.
Listen, I totally disagree with you.
Of course,
what about a guy named like Jared Goff? He got drafted by the Rams under Jeff Fisher, was awful. Number 1 pick overall, was awful. Do you know why he was awful? Because he was in Jeff Fisher's system that didn't complement his game, right? So Jared Goff gets Sean McVay. They moved to LA. Now all of a sudden he's a great quarterback because now he's playing in McVay's system. The head coach is a huge deal for the quarterback to be successful.
Okay, so Jason Garrett couldn't develop Dak Prescott. Mike McCarthy couldn't develop Dak Prescott, and you don't like Shotty. So why do you think Shotty can develop Dak Prescott?
He's office-minded coach. You're gonna kill me right now. Offensive-minded coach. He was with Dak for 3 years, but not calling the shots. Mike McCarthy was calling the shots. It was his playbook, not Shotty's playbook.
So Shotty didn't want to win?
If Shotty has the mind that Jerry Jones is banking he does, then he could do something with Dak Prescott that we haven't seen yet. And that's what I'm hoping for. And I don't even like Shotty, but I'm saying that he's been in football for so long, sat on the bench for 3 years. If he can't do something with Dak this year, then he isn't our guy. Oh. Shotty's got to go.
And you know what? If Dak Prescott wasn't making $240 million, guess what? Dak Prescott would be on the bench, and this guy by the name of Joe Milton would be our starting quarterback.
So should we not take that comment that Dak is still developing as a possibility that maybe he is thinking of not starting, or Dak's position is not, his role is not guaranteed starting QB?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Money talks.
And Lombardi mentioned Pickens. Are you saying, Lombardi, that Pickens might actually have to save Dak's job? He'll perform better because Pickens is now out there with CD?
Scotty, that's exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying right now is Dak Prescott from day one has been a 4th-round average drafted quarterback.
Here we go.
And guess what? Just because you named your dog and you can't change the dog's name, you don't need to love Dak and think that he's great. Here's the deal. Dak Prescott is an average quarterback. He's a great guy on the field. He's a great guy off the field. People like Dak Prescott because he's a good guy. Dak will never win unless he's surrounded by other people like most football teams. Not the Tom Brady's of the world. They can do it on their own. Not the Peyton Mannings of the world. Not the Jalen Hurts of the world. Like those guys are elite. Dak Prescott had received a guy like George Pickens who can actually make Dak Prescott a winner. He can actually make Dak Prescott a winner. He is going to take the heat off of CeeDee Lamb. He's going to take the heat off of Jake Ferguson. I don't know what we're going to do with the running game, but my point is that Dak is going to be able to move a little bit better and have other options and make him better. His average quarterback will be better.
Rebuttal, JP.
Yeah, so like again, Dak already had a great offense in his first couple of years in the league. When Zeke was at his prime, he had Amari Cooper. He had
what year though? Is that his first, second, third year in the league?
His first 3 years.
That's when he's developing, by the way.
Oh, they didn't, but they were run first, pass second in those
That's
years.
the first 3 years you develop as a quarterback. He's in his 10th.
But you're saying that now besides George Pickens, and now Dak's going to have another weapon that he'll be different. Or save his job.
I think it's a possibility. No, I think so.
It's going to be the same thing we had Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. It's the same thing. They have two great standout receivers.
Amari
Cooper
is not George Pickens. George Pickens can be a number one.
Right, all the pressure on the Cowboys right now is Dak Prescott. All the pressure on that offense is Dak Prescott. They have a decent offensive line now with some upgrades.
I agree.
They have good wideouts and a good tight end. Their running back committee is atrocious.
Agreed.
Javonte Williams and Sanders in the back with two
rookies.
Run
run this kid from the Texas. We're going to run
Jordan Blue. But I'm saying we have two rookies and two washed up has-beens in the backfield. We have no idea what we're going to have for a running game this year.
Well, you know who's going to run the ball a little bit, not in a traditional way, but Turpin.
Yeah, I like him. But again, Dak has been here before, but he's had a better running back in the past than he has now. So again, all the pressure on this offense is on Dak, and I hope Shotty can come up with some kind of scheme to include these guys to make Dak better. But again, time will tell. I hope I'm wrong, but I just feel like this guy's been in the league for so long. Yeah, it's his shot. And this is the year to show if he can unleash Dak like they unleashed Jared Goff or unleash other quarterbacks like Josh Allen, Brian Dabo from the Giants coach. He was the offensive coordinator they brought in to unleashed Josh Allen. Before him, Allen was struggling. He was throwing a lot of interceptions, fumbling the ball. Dabo changed his course of his career and made him an MVP candidate.
All right, so Dak Prescott Shotty needs to unleash Dak Prescott.
Yes.
That's what you're telling me.
Yes.
And I'm telling you that if it's going to happen, it's because they surrounded him by either a number 2 wide receiver, because CD obviously is our number 1, but George Pickens can be considered a number 1. He's got 2 wide receivers. If it doesn't happen now, it's not because he's still developing. It's because we just brought in a stud wide receiver on the other side of the field. Now we can't double team CD Lamb.
But we have no running game. So again, it's all on Dak. He's got to fine tune that passing game to be unleashed, to be able to do that, handle the workload. Because he has nobody to hand it off to. He's gonna turn around and go, I have nobody. You know what I mean? So that's a big problem in Dallas. Right. And we talked about this all last year. Why did we sign Zeke back for another year? It was an awful move. And
terrible.
And we released him before the season was over. And now we're sitting here going into training camp, going into minicamp with no running back. And there was Nick Chubb, who just signed with the Houston Texans, was available the whole time. And he's a proven back. And we didn't give him a shot. Why? Kareem Hunt, still out there, free agent. Why aren't we going to give him a shot? Give him a flyer. Bring him into camp. If he sucks, he sucks. But at least we can compare him to the guys we have in the field who sucked the whole career.
Well, you got that guy, Deuce Vaughn. He's great.
He sucks. I saw a thing on. Oh my god! I saw a thing on DallasCowboys.com that they're going to move him to a slot receiver.
I saw that.
The guy's 5'2".
Yeah.
In high heels, he's 5'2". Yeah. There's no way he's gonna be a slot receiver.
But he's got great hands, JP.
Sure. Oh my god, was he George Costanza? I don't care.
Well, Lombardi, you referenced it. Only the elite really can get by without a running game.
That's right.
And be successful. Right. So most quarterbacks, most of the very high end good quarterbacks, I know you're not putting Dak in that group.
I'm not.
But he could be if he gets a running game. And I think that's JP's point, which I'm just saying, other than the Bradys of the world, the very few of those Bradys in the world, most quarterbacks do need a running game in order to be successful.
Agreed.
Same story, different year here with the Cowboys.
Agreed. I'm just saying that our running game, obviously it's essential to have a solid running game in football. I get it. I'm not arguing that point. What I'm arguing is that now that we brought in another potential WR1, Dak is going to have a lot more opportunity to get rid of the ball a lot quicker, because there's going to be a lot more options down the field with a stud tight end and 2 stud receivers. That's all I'm saying. He's going to have the ability to break out Do we need a running back? Yes, I'm not arguing that point.
But is it going to be enough without a running back?
No, because
without the threat of a
who
run.
knows,
No,
right?
no,
Yeah.
it's
To be
no,
told.
it's
Not gonna
no,
be.
Joe.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
no.
with you, JP.
It's no, because his rookie year, play action pass was his highest percentage passes were on play action because he had Zeke. He needs a running back to take the pressure off of him, to take the coverage in, so when they're blitzing him, so he can make those quick throws with wide open coverage. He cannot take on where the guys all drop back and with limited pressure, and he has nobody to throw to.
No, I
He doesn't have legs
understand
anymore.
that, but what we did is, like I said, I'm not going to repeat myself. We talked about the wide receivers, but what we also did is we strengthened the inside line on the offensive line with Booker being a stud who's going to be awesome, with BB being the center under center, and Tyler Smith supporting Dak. He will have more time. I am not arguing we don't need a running back. I'm arguing that because of the strength on the front, on the inner offensive line, and because of what we did on the outside receiver position, he is going to be better.
All right. Well, one last question before we get into a brand new feature here on the Lombardi and JP Talk Sports podcast. Can the Cowboys win a Super Bowl with Dak at quarterback?
Go ahead.
All right. So 30 years drought, and Dak Prescott in his tenure of 10 years have a 2-5 playoff record. 2-5 playoff record. Now, that's not going to cut it to win a Super Bowl, but as a Cowboys fan, and maybe I'm delusional, I do see something in Dak Prescott. I think sometimes, like some of these games in the playoffs where we get to the divisional round, it's really not all on him. The last time we were in the playoffs, not last year because we didn't make the playoffs, but the year prior, the defense couldn't stop a nosebleed, and we got just ran out of the building. I don't blame that solely on Dak Prescott. There was definitely some games when we played the 49ers in the years past that we just totally blew it, but can Dak win the big game? I think defense wins championships. That's a play out of Joe Lombardi's playbook. He always says that. He preaches that. I agree with you. The only way that we're going to win the Super Bowl with Dak Prescott at the helm is our defense has to be a top 5 defense and a shut down corners with Diggs and Bland. We got to be a stiff defense again to hold these other offenses from scoring, and Dak has to manage the game, and I think that could obviously lead us to a Super Bowl. It has to happen soon because Dak's in his 10th year. Quarterbacks in this league get beat up. He's been hurt so many times with broken ankles, broken legs, and broken thumbs. I really don't know how much longer he has. Hopefully he can stay healthy and we can get one.
I don't even know how to answer that question. I really don't know how to answer that question.
It's either yes or no.
Yeah, it's. I wish it was that easy. I wish it was that easy because it's not. It's really not. Like I said, Dak is a very dynamic person. Dak is not one of the top 3 or 5 quarterbacks. I maybe in stats, and you can tell me how many passing yards he had last year and all this stuff. Dak himself is not going to carry a team. So the Dallas Cowboys went out and they constructed a better team. They filled spots on the defensive side of the ball. They filled spots on the offensive line. Only time will tell if that's enough for Dak to be surrounded by great players and succeed. Like I said, he can't do it on his own. He's not that athletic anymore. If he was, and I want to tell you something, if he does get hurt, and I know he's going to laugh at me and that's fine, but if he does get hurt, or if there's an opportunity, I'm not saying it's going to happen. Money talks. He's right. $240 million. You're going to play your guy. But if Joe Milton gets an opportunity to play, he's much more athletic. He's quicker. He's faster. He doesn't have the experience. But I'm going to tell you something. It could be a situation where Dak loses a job if there's an opportunity for Joe Milton.
All right. That is the end of our Cowboys talk. This is where we start a new era in the Lombardi and JP Talk Sports podcast. What I hold in my hands here today, gentlemen, is the gavel of justice.
Oh my God.
Our new feature, Scotty P's shout-outs. I am going to give you a shout-out to somebody in sports. If you want to make a comment on it, great. If you don't, your silence will be deafening. You may have just a short little word or two that you might want to chime in with. Either way, when I determine it's time to move on to the next shout out, we will go on to the next Scotty P shout out. All right. Little practice here.
Ooh,
That's not bad.
that's really good.
All right.
Let the games begin.
Hold on. Do we have a black robe for Scotty P?
Ooh.
No?
You know, as a Red Sox fan, I don't know if I want to get that too familiar with Judge.
And also, the budget's so low at Lombardi and JP Talk Sports that we couldn't afford the robe.
We'd appreciate a sponsor if anybody's listening.
Yeah, sure. Or we can go down to the local barbershop down the street there, and maybe they'll donate a used one for me. All right. First shout out to Brad Marchand. Marshy has become just the second player in 50 years after Mario Lemieux to score 5+ goals in multiple Stanley Cup finals.
Rat face puke. I hate that guy.
Awesome.
Wow.
Well deserved. You know, well deserved. Bruins treated him like shit, and he went to the Florida Panthers, and he's going to win a Stanley Cup.
That's 2 beeps for you, Lombardi.
Well,
Shout out to Chris Sale. The aforementioned Chris Sale has become the fastest in MLB to reach 2,500 strikeouts.
Way to go, Sale.
yeah, who cares?
Good job, Red Sox. Speaking of pitchers, shout out to Dodgers Shohei Ohtani starting his first game since he was in an Angels uniform in 2023. Silence is deafening. Shout out to Wolfpack alumnus Patrick Reed, who scored the rare albatross. That's a 2 on a par 5 in round 1 of the U.S. Open. It was on the 611-yard par 5 fourth hole. His second shot, he drilled from 286 yards out.
Okay.
I don't even know where you came up with that.
Proud
That's
Wolfpack.
awesome.
Way to go, Patrick.
That's awesome.
Shout out to JJ Spawn, wins the 2025 U.S. Open Golf Tournament, finishing with 2 birdies on the last 2 holes at Oakmont. His last stroke, a 64-foot, 5-inch incredible putt to secure the victory by 2, and the only player to finish the U.S. Open tournament under par.
Cool.
I wish I could make a 1-foot putt, but I can't. 64. Oh my God.
Did you see pictures of the
It was
rough?
it was
I did.
awesome.
Yeah. Congrats, JJ.
Yeah.
You can stand in that rough, look down, and take a picture, and you will not see your shoes.
And correct me if I'm wrong. They had squeegees out there to try to clean off the golf course.
Yeah, when
didn't
it
they?
rained.
Yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal. So, you know what? Very cool.
And I think on the stint meter, the greens were like a 15 or whatever, and that's the equivalent of like hardwood floors in your house.
All right, I'm falling asleep. Let's keep going.
Last one in the Red Sox organization. I mentioned this earlier. All you got to do to get called up from AAA is hit a monster 497 grand salami. Welcome to the show, Roman Anthony.
I think they talked about his sister more than they talked about Roman. Did you see that? Very beautiful. But the topic was about Leah, not Roman.
Does she have an Insta?
You've been on it and you know it.
Stay away. I believe there is a restraining order of some kind out there, JP. All right. Well, very good. Let me get situated here, reestablished. That concludes Scotty P's shout-outs. Be sure to tune in next week to see if we do it again. All right, it's time for our final thoughts. But before we do that, the Lombardi and JP Talk Sports podcast is powered by Lee Creative Media. Ready to make your brand unforgettable? At Lee Creative Media, LLC, we create scroll-stopping, stunning photography, high-impact video, and bold social media that gets results. Lee Creative Media, where your story gets seen. All right, final thoughts. Let's start with JP.
All right, my final thought today is about Aaron Judge and the recent struggles with the Yankees. Again, Aaron Judge right now is batting .378 with 26 homers and 60 RBIs. In the last 10 games, Aaron Judge has hit .306 with 5 home runs and 10 RBIs. Now, you think .306, right? That's a great for 10 games, right? I would take that all day for 10 games for any player on the Yankees. But when you're batting over like .395 at one point and you go to Boston and you strike out the most times in a Red Sox series history, that is just embarrassing. You cannot strike out 3 times a game and be the captain. It's so tough to watch that. And I was actually present Father's Day Sunday. I took my son to his first ever game. We were there to see Aaron Judge. There's no way he'll do this 3 games in a row, strike out 3 times, and there it was, 3 times in a row. We love you, Judge. It was rough weekend, but I don't blame all these struggles on you. We need more than just you hitting. We need Bellinger. We need all those other guys, Goldschmidt, to continue hitting and give you some balance. So, again, we love you, Judge, but, man, we don't ever want to see that again. 9 strikeouts in 3 games is too many.
All right, Lombardi, your final thought.
This is an easy one for me, Scotty P. You ready for it?
I can't imagine where you're going.
I'm gonna
Sticking
go-
with baseball and sticking in the same park as Aaron Judge was this weekend.
I am. Who is happier than me that Devers was traded to the San Francisco Giants? I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you who's happier. Garrett Cole. Man, I love you, Garrett Cole, and I know we'll see you next year. You're nursing that Tommy John surgery. But Garrett Cole, man, Devers had your number. 14 for 40, 20 RBIs, 46 plate appearances, and it was batting a .357 batting average against you. Cole, he had your number. Man, you're one of my favorite players. I love you. And now we can both smile. He's in the National League, and we don't have to deal with him. Thank God. Devers, good luck in San Francisco. And Garrett Cole, let's go.
All right, very good. Excellent final thoughts, gentlemen. Thank you very much. That's our show for today. Thanks for listening. Please keep the conversation going by submitting your comments down below. Don't make me take this gavel out again. Thanks for listening. Come back again, and please be well. Till next time, Scotty P, Lombardi, JP. Peace.